welcome back to Robert's Kitchen. I'm Robert, and today we're going to make a dish that I love. I think it's another one of those super quick, fresh, and delicious things that you can prepare. You can make it vegetarian if you want. You can add a little bit of animal protein to it if you want, like shrimp or chicken. We're going to do it plain and with a little bit of shrimp. It's super easy. It's basically sautéed spinach with a fried cheese. Today we're going to use Palleja. It's a Mexican variety of cheese, means for frying, and you can sometimes get it at the Mexican grocery store. It's super easy to use. It's pretty cost effective too. It's a cheese that you can fry and get a little golden crust on, but it doesn't melt. It'll get a little soft, but it doesn't get all melty. There's another cheese that I use for this dish. It's called halloumi. It's a cheese from Cyprus. It behaves the same way. It's a little stiffer, but it also does not melt when you fry it. The biggest difference is in the price. The fried halloumi comes in probably at about 7 times the price of the Palleja, but it is good, and you don't need a lot. We're just going to saute up some spinach. We're going to give it a little bit of a visual, and then we're going to place the fried cheese on top of it. And it's just something. It's quick. It's fresh. It's actually kind of filling because the portion of cheese is pretty substantial, and we hope you like it as much as I do. I'm going to start out by warming up, sweating out some garlic. Then we're going to add our spinach, and then we're going to add a little bit of our some cut up tomatoes. What I really like about the tomatoes, it does add a certain amount of flavor, but the visual on it's really pretty. And we're not going to cook this for a very long time. It's just going to be long enough for everything to be hot. So the first thing we're going to do is after the oil's warmed up, we're going to add our garlic. And I don't want it too hot because I don't want the garlic to burn. I just want it to sweat out a little bit. And I'm going to turn the heat down just a little bit again so it's not burned. I want the flavor to be released into the olive oil. Having this super extra large deep pan makes this particular dish a lot easier. So I see the garlic. I've turned the heat down, but the garlic is starting to brown a little bit. I don't want it to get too well done. So what I'm going to do next is I'm going to take this side. I think this is about 10 ounces, 8 ounces or 10 ounces. This is going to be enough to serve 2 people this particular dish. If you get a 1-pounder, you'll need to break this down into 2 batches, but it'll be just enough for 4 people. And what you can also do, if you wish, is you can add a little bit more olive oil to the top of this. All right, so we got the spinach started, and now we're going to start frying our cheese. And 2 to 3 pieces of this cheese is just about perfect for a serving if you cut each of the pieces in approximately a 1/2 inch thickness. I've got the spinach going. The spinach is going very nicely with the garlic. I'm going to put in a couple of handfuls of halved grape tomatoes. And the whole idea, again, is we're just making this hot. We're not trying to cook it down too far. Matter of fact, this is done just a minute or 2 earlier than I would have liked it to have been, but that's okay. We're going to just turn the heat off, and by the time we're ready to serve this up, everything is going to be perfectly hot. In the meantime, we're going to check our cheese. Perfect. And if you look over here, you can see this perfect golden crust That's got another minute or so to go. There we go. We're getting it this beautiful golden color. I'm trying to keep them moving and make sure that none of them get burned. That wouldn't be any fun. But we got this beautiful crust, this beautiful golden color on one side. We're going to try to get that the same on the other. And then what we're going to do is we're going to put our spinach and our tomatoes on the plate, about half onto each plate. And the tomatoes just make, look how beautiful that is with with the yellow and the red and the green. And then all we got to do is take the cheese out and lay down the cheese right over the top of the spinach. All right, so now we've got this all served up. Now, there is one more difference between the halloumi and the perifriere. The halloumi is, when it's made, it's packed in a little bit of a salted brine. And once you've plated this up with halloumi, you don't need to add anything else to it. Perifriere, on the other hand, it's a little more creamy and no salt in it at all. And I like to put on just a little bit of salt over this dish. Not a lot, but it does need to have a little bit of salt. And like I said, if you like it with a little protein, it's easy to add a couple of pieces of shrimp or serve it all by itself without. Thank you for joining us here in Robert's Kitchen. I hope you enjoy preparing this as much as I do, and I hope you enjoy eating it as much as I do as well. It's something super easy, super fresh, it's super delicious, and it's just, again, it's another dish with just a few basic ingredients, and let your ingredients work for you. Thanks for joining me, and we'll see you next month.